Hello, and welcome to the MMA Mic Drop podcast. My name is Jade Bunky. In today's episode, I'm going to break down everything that's about to go down at UFC Fight Night, Bautista versus Oliveira. This fight card is absolutely stacked. It is the first event that goes down at the Apex under the new Paramount contract, and it is a good one. You have a couple fighters who are in title contention. You have legit prospects. And you also have some just really compelling matchups. If I'm to grade this, I would give it an A-. The main event features number 9 ranked Mario Bautista versus number 11 ranked Vinicius Oliveira. Bautista is the favorite. He's a minus 175 favorite. Oliveira is a plus 150 underdog. Bautista, I mean, he's really good. He won 8 in a row in the UFC. His only recent loss was to Nurmagomedov. And if you look at his last 11 fights, he's 10 and 11. And he's won 10 of 11. And that's in the UFC. He's got some good hands, good kicks. He is pretty good everywhere, has good movement, has good footwork, and I think is a little bit underrated in the UFC's bantamweight division. And when I look at Oliveira, this is an interesting fight. I think he's one of the more interesting prospects, even though, yes, he is 30 years old, but he is 4-0 in the UFC. I believe he's 23-3 overall, and I think he has something like 17 finishes of those 23 wins. He's an elusive striker. He's a little bit awkward. He has he has good movement, but it's not very fluid. He's a little herky-jerky, but he's very explosive. He's a little tricky for people to figure out, and his one fundamental flaw, he's not a good defensive striker. He keeps his hands really low, he puts his chin out there, he's just really quick and really elusive, so he doesn't get hit as much as you think somebody who fights like that would. This is a really good test to really see how good he is. Yeah, I mean, in his last fight, he was outclassing Kyler Phillips. He was kind of toying with him, it looked like, kind of daring him to hit him, leaning in and out, lunging in and out. This is a really good matchup, but I'm going to take Oliveira, and I think he's going to get a TKO. Give me Oliveira by 3rd round TKO. All right, before that, we have a flyweight bout between number 6, Amir Albazi, and number 8, Kyoji Horiguchi. Now, Horiguchi's a fascinating fighter. He's 35 years old. He made his return to the UFC, and he looked as quick as ever. Has not lost a step. And if you remember him from before, when he was in the UFC, he was 8-1. With this win, he is 9-1, and his only loss is against Demetrius Johnson. And right now, he is a minus 400 favorite against Amir Albazi. I do think that's a little bit steep. Albazi is really good. He, was right there on the precipice of a title shot. He lost to Brandon Moreno, and it seems like he took a pretty big step back. But he is still, like I said, he's ranked number 6. He's legit. He is good everywhere, and so is Horiguchi. And what I was really impressed about the return of Horiguchi is that it was his speed, right? Because when you're 35 years old, things start to fall off quickly, and they didn't. And I think this is a much closer fight, but I do think it is going to be a pretty dominant. Well, I shouldn't say dominant. I think the judges' scorecards are probably going to be 30-27, but I see each round being relatively close. Give me Horiguchi by decision, and here's what I think is going to happen. I know the UFC is looking to create a numbered event in Japan. I know the UFC wants Joshua Van versus Taira in Japan. Horiguchi, if he gets a win here, I mean, he might be either the featured bout or the co-main event, maybe against Manel Kape. So he is 2 fights away from a title fight. So he is right there. And this is what I mean, that this fight card is really good. There are really high stakes for an Apex fight card. You got number 6, Jailton Almeida versus Rizvan Kuniev. I do not have odds on this. Let me click into something else right now. But so Jailton Almeida, when we look at how he fights, he's a grappler, and he is a massive dude, but he's not a massive dude for the heavyweight division. He was a massive dude for the light heavyweight division. And what this means is when he fights, proper heavyweights like Kuniev, or like in his last couple fights, like Curtis Blades and Alexander Volkov, he's at a size disadvantage. And it's funny, I just said I'm going to look at the odds, and I just clicked on the wrong thing. That has nothing to do with the odds. Okay, I'll have to click. Oh, this is surprising. So Jailton Almeida, I did not realize he was 34 because he has that prospect feel, right? He came in, he's dominating guys, and then he just moved up pretty quickly, quickly through the ranks in pure dominant fashion. And what he does, how he fights, he grapples. And so he's very methodical. He gets you onto the ground. He advances position very slowly. He is technically sound. One of the problems, though, and this is why he's lost, 2 fights to top-tier talent, is he just holds you when he gets to those bigger guys. He can't really advance position as easily. He's strong enough to control you, but he doesn't do a lot of damage. And the other flaw is his striking. And here's where it's interesting. He has the hand speed and the athleticism to be a good striker. He just is not. I mean, that's just not part of his game. And I think he can make a run in the heavyweight division if he works more on his striking. His grappling is good. And he's also got to know when to let go and when to, when I say let go when he's got somebody in a compromised position, but not in a dominant position. Maybe back up, you're not going to advance. Because what we've noticed, the judges are starting to judge these things a little bit differently, or should I say score those things a little bit differently when it comes to just control. If you're just laying on somebody, we saw this with Torres Finney in his first fight. He just laid on somebody, one of the judges, gave the split to the other guy. And let me just check the odds real quick. So this fight is essentially a pick 'em. Jailton Almeida, he's a -120 favorite. Barely. Kuniev is a -115. I mean, this is an interesting matchup because when you look at Kuniev, he is a proper heavyweight. He is big. He is a solid grappler. He is a decent striker. And he's a pretty good defensive grappler. And this is going to be problematic for somebody like Almeida, who likes to just basically lay on you and is unable to maybe get a bigger guy to the ground, or at least into a dominant position pretty easily. With that said, I think at some point during this fight, Almeida is going to get him to the ground, and I think he's going to get him in a pretty dominant position. And when he does that, he's going to advance, and I think that's going to happen in the second round. Give me Jailton Almeida by second round submission. All right, before that, we have Michał Oleksiejczuk versus Marc-André Barriault. Oleksiejczuk, a -250 favorite. Barriault, a +180 underdog. And now this is a typical Apex fight, but it's after 3 really good fights, and there's some incredible fights further down. I actually think this fight should be early prelims because there are so many good fights on this. And there's not really much to break down because this is not that much of an interesting fight. I think Barriault has, he's fallen off, and I don't think he was ever really that. I think he has a below 500 record in the UFC, and he's slowed down. I mean, he's fallen off a cliff. He looks slower than he ever has. And I think Oleksiejczuk, he's like a pretty solid UFC fighter. Not great, not bad, middle of the road, but I think middle of the road is much better. He does have, a little bit of punching power, and I think, he's going to be the faster fighter. And give me Oleksiejczuk by third round TKO. Before that, we are going to get a really good matchup. And when I talk about, some of the hottest prospects in the UFC, Farid Basharat, I mean, he's one of them. He is undefeated. He's taken on Gene Matsumoto. I mean, he is, Matsumoto is, I believe he's 11-1. He only has 1 loss. It's to Rob Font. He is a prospect as well. He does not have the same level of hype. He's never actually had the same level of hype, and obviously the hype drops off when you get your first loss. That was a close fight. This is a good fight. Both guys are very well-rounded. And when I look at the odds, Basharat is a -285. I think that is way off. Matsumoto is a +230. I think this is much closer. And I just noticed something. I was actually looking at the wrong. Going back to Jailton Almeida, I actually read the incorrect line. Almeida is a minus 155 favorite. Kuniev is a plus 130 underdog. I think that makes a lot of sense. Oleksiejczuk is a minus 500, not a minus 250. That's insane. Marc-André Barriault is plus 380 underdog. Matsumoto, yeah, he's a plus 230 underdog. I do not like that at all because I do think this is a close fight. And even though I think it's a close fight, I think Basharat is the real deal. Give me Basharat by decision. Watch for both guys to have their moments. Watch for some interesting scrambles. This should be a really entertaining fight. And it's a 6-fight main card. I like that. Okay, Justin Jacoby versus Julius Walker. Jacoby is a minus 185 underdog. A minus 185 favorite. Walker is a plus 154 underdog. I don't know if I like that line. I mean, it does make sense, but the problem is Justin Jacoby is 38 years old. Now, he is a very good kickboxer. I mean, he has a kickboxing background, previous to the UFC. He's got really clean strikes, clean kicks, as you would imagine, and he has some power. He can put you out. The problem is his age. And yes, he's won 2 in a row, but he has looked a lot slower. And I think that's going to be a problem for the younger Walker. Give me Walker by 3rd round TKO. The prelims, and you're not going to want to miss this one because it's not going to last long. It is Daniil Donchenko versus Alex Morono. Donchenko, a minus 625 favorite versus Morono, who is a plus 455 underdog. There was a time a few years ago where Morono would have made this fight much closer, and the odds would have reflected that. I mean, he's tricky. He is good everywhere. He's a decent striker. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He is good everywhere, but he has pretty much fallen off probably over his last 3 fights, and I believe he's lost his last 3 in a row, and he's just looked slower and slower, and that does not portend well against Donchenko, who does look legit, who is 24, who does hit incredibly hard. And if you're betting on say FanDuel or DraftKings, where it's not just who wins, it's how you win. I would lock in for FanDuel. I would lock in Donchenko as your MVP, and definitely have him, despite the salary, whatever that will be. It will be pretty high on DraftKings. Take it because he's going to win not only by 1st round knockout. I think it's going to be within the 1st minute. So give me Donchenko by 1st round knockout. Before that, we have Bruna Brasil versus Ketlen Souza. I'm going to go through some of these quickly and spend a little more time on the more interesting ones. I actually would put this fight a little lower on the card. Souza is a minus 148. Brazil a plus 124. Give me Souza by a really boring decision. All right, we'll go into this one a little more in a little more detail. Said Nurmagomedov versus Javid Basharat. Okay, this is the brother, obviously, of the other Basharat, and he's a good fighter as well. He just hasn't had the same level of success. I think both guys are coming off back-to-back losses, and Basharat is a minus 125 favorite. Nurmagomedov is plus 105, and I'm wondering if that's just because of the name value. Both guys came in as top prospects. One of them is a legit top prospect, and Javid Basharat is still good, but so is Said Nurmagomedov. And despite some of his losses, I mean, he's been in the UFC for a while. He has a winning record, and I can't remember. I guess I can just look and see what it is. Let me see what his record is in the UFC, because he's, I think, a little better than what the odds indicate. I mean, overall, he's 18-5. He is, let's see, 3, 4, 5. Okay, he's 7-4 in the UFC. He's well-rounded. He's a very good striker. He's a good grappler. He has, his finishes are a blend of, TKOs and submissions, which indicate, that he is well-rounded as well. And, Javid Basharat, he's 14. Like I said, he's he's lost his last 2, but he's 14-2. So he's undefeated before that. And let me just see how many in the UFC he won before that. So yeah, he was on a 3-fight winning streak before that in the UFC. He lost to Ayman Zahabi, who was way better than we all thought he was. And then Ricky Simón. Ricky Simón is a good fighter. I know he's had mixed results. I don't think he's, title bound or a title contender, but, he could be top 15 bound. I think this is a really good fight. And I think it's going to be close. I think it will go back and forth, but give me Said Nurmagomedov to get it done by a really entertaining decision. And this is the fight I would have had higher on the card. Kong Wang versus Eduarda Mora. Both are prospects. Wang is 8-1 overall. She is 4-1 in the UFC. Mora, she is 12-1. I don't know how many wins she has in the UFC. Let me check. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, yes, she's 3-1. She's a finisher. She has the nickname Ronda. I don't know about that nickname, but she has 5 submission, 4 TKOs, and 9 finishes out of 12 wins. Is pretty impressive, and I think she's a legit prospect. And that finish rate, particularly at 125, is incredibly impressive. And I think Wang is a little underrated. So she came in with all this hype. She beat Valentina Shevchenko in another organization. I believe it was in, I can't remember if it was like I think it was in Muay Thai. She is a ridiculously good striker. I mean, she has fast hands. She throws good combos. I mean, she's good in the clinch. She's good at range. She is good everywhere. And she is a minus 380 favorite. Okay. She is getting a little love back on her name. I mean, I think that's a little steep against Mora because Mora is pretty legit. But, I mean, I think Wang is the big deal. And I see her as a legit title contender. And this is, again, why this fight card is rated so highly as an Apex fight card. Give me Wang by 3rd round TKO in a really interesting fight. Her one loss, I mean, she got caught in a sub, right? That happens. I mean, it's not, she didn't look terrible in that fight. She just ended up getting caught. And for me, that didn't drop her stock at all. It dropped the mystique. Who's this person coming over to MMA, who's won her first couple fights in the UFC, who beat Valentina Shevchenko. It takes a little away from that, but she's the real deal. And another really good fight so early on the prelims, Muin Gafarov versus Jacob Wicklats. Now Wicklats, let me get the odds first. Gafarov, he's the minus 135 favorite. Wicklats is plus 114. I figured that would have been split. And I do like how the line is close because this is an exceptional fight. I think it's really close. I think it's razor thin. I think Gafarov is a little better than his record in the UFC might indicate. And Wicklats is he is 2-0 in the UFC. He just beat Patchy Mix, which was a big step up in competition. And it's funny, on the regional scene, there is one guy, Sebastian, I do not know how to pronounce his last name. He fought 5 times, which is absolutely insane. So he's getting new opponents in the UFC. That is, that is a good thing. And I think he's pretty legit. Give me Wicklats by 3rd round sub. And opening the card, Priscilla Cachoeira versus Segula. I can't even pronounce her name. Cachoeira is a plus 124 underdog. It's Claudia Segula. I'm sorry, Claudia. She is a minus 148 underdog. I'm going to take the upset here. Don't put too much weight into that. Cachoeira, sometimes she looks okay, sometimes she doesn't look good. I don't know which version is going to show up, but that's all I have. Again, really good fight card. Every fight except maybe like 2 or 3 are really interesting, and that's pretty amazing for an Apex card. So thank you so much. Like, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Thanks.